Okay, so we're going to look a little bit of time today. So, first of all, I just want to look at the clock and understand what's going on. So, as you probably know, we have 60 seconds in a minute, in 1 minute, and then 60 minutes in an hour, in 1 hour, and then there's 24 hours in 1 day. So often people ask, why are these numbers? They're really strange. Like, why isn't it 100 seconds in a minute? And we go back to looking at how people used to count on their hands. So we used to love the number 6 because it was really easy to count. You've got 1, 2, 3 on one hand, different spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Disregarding the thumb. So you've got 12. You can count along 12 times on your fingers. So 12 became really important. That's why we have 12 hours before noon, 12 hours after, 24 hours in the day. 12 is, like 6 goes into 12 really easily. It just all works out really nicely. 5 by 12 is 60, So it's just, that's why we end up with these things. So then if we look at just time in general, in the morning, we're going to look at the 12-hour clock first. 12-hour clock. And that just means that we're using AM and PM. Okay? So this means before midday, and this means after midday. So ante-meridium and post-meridium. So before midday, after midday. So if we had 9 AM, that just means 9 in the morning. If we had 9 PM, that would mean 9 at night. The 24-hour clock, the 24-hour clock is kind of the same. So 9 o'clock is written, we'll add an extra 0, that means 9 in the morning. But 21 is at night. So this is nighttime. The way I like to do it is you just take 12 away from this number and you'll figure out what time it is. You'll get used to those kind of things. But if you do it really fast, you can take off 10. So I take off 10 of this and you get 11, and then just take another 2 off of it and you end up with 9. You do that in your head really quickly. If you take 12 off 21, you get 9, so it's 9 o'clock at night. So what we're going to do is a few just converting times to different times. So say if we were at, let's think, if we add this, I want to know what that time is in the 12-hour clock. So you need to put an AM or a PM beside it. If we take 12 off 16, we're going to get 4, so it's 4:54. And it's after 12, so it's after midday, so that means PM. Okay? If, say, I had 8:30 PM and I want that in the 24-hour clock, we have to add 12 hours to this, so that becomes 20, 30, and that's your time. Okay? Another thing is when we're converting time, so we want to say we have 2 hours 40 minutes, and I want to know what that is in just minutes. So we know there's 60 seconds in an hour, so that means there's 2 60 seconds here, so 2 by 60 plus 40. 2 by 60 is 120, and 120 plus 40 is 160 minutes, 160 minutes. Let's have a look at another one. Let's say we have 3 hours 32. I'll do this one on the calculator for you. So 3 hours is 3 by 60, which is 180. And we add the 32. So 180 plus 32 is 212 minutes. Okay? So that's converting time. The next thing I want to look at is adding and subtracting time. So say we had, the example in the book is always nice, the 4:15 movie. and it ends at, what time is it? 16:08. Okay? So we have a movie starting at this time and it ends at this time, and I want to know how long that movie is. So usually what you do is just take away 16:08, right? 16:08 minus 14:15. Okay? But you notice that there's too many minutes here to take away from 8 minutes. We've bigger on the bottom than the top. So we need to change something around. We're going to take the 16:08. I'm going to bring it over here. I want this to be bigger than 15. So we're going to take 60 seconds from the 16. So that would make a whole hour would go away, 15. And we add it over here. So it's the same thing. It's just with the 60 seconds over here. So now we go back to our doing our sum. 16:08. Sorry, it's not 16:08, it's 15:68 minus 14:15. And now it's just normal maths. 68 minus 15 is 53, and 15 minus 14 is 1. So we know that that film is 1 hour 53 minutes long. So that's how you do it with out by hand. If you had an easier one like say 9:45 and 7:35, that's pretty straightforward. We have 45 minus 35 is 10, and 9 minus 7 is 2, so it's 2 hours 10 minutes. So that one's pretty straightforward. But if the minutes are bigger on the bottom than the top, you have to do this kind of conversion. So you convert this to this. For those of you who have a calculator, we can make this whole process way easier. So we're going to look at this one again. So we have 16:08. There's a little button here. Mine's really faded, but underneath, on this calculator anyway, underneath the square root sign, there's a little button here. And I'm going to draw what that button looks like. It's got a little circle and then 3 commas like this. Okay? And it's right here. And what we're going to do is after everything, we just put in that button. So we're going to have 16 and click that button, and you'll get a little 0 thing up the top. It's like degrees. And then we've 0:08 and put in that again. And then minus 14, hit that button. And 15 minutes, I click equals, and I'll get this thing, 1:53. So that means 1 hour 53. And that's exactly what we figured out it to be. Again, I can do it for this example. So 9, hit that button. 45, hit the button. Minus 7. And 35, hit the button again. And you get 2 hours 10, and that's what we had here. So that's just how you add and subtract time. Remember, converting, you need to, if I can find it again, you need to remember that 16, once it's after 12, that means it's in the evening time after PM, so it's going to be PM, not AM. If it's AM, it's going to be one of these kind of times. It's going to have only a single digit, and you'll know what time it is. If you want to figure out what this means, take 12 away from this number, and you'll know what time it is at night. Yeah, and that's it.